Welcome, dear listeners and galaxy explorers. Do you feel which zodiac jumps out of the glass today?
You see our hands in gloves actually. They didn't fit, but hey, never mind.
Because yes, they fulfill their purpose, being mysterious, tension-building and shiny. Just like the multiverse. And yes, this video is long, but this is a 1 in a million heart and soul project. Jupiter says there will be no other video like that, so don't stress yourself just because of the length. You don't have to listen to this all at once. You're free to go chapter by chapter just at your own pace and time.
And have you felt it?
Gatsby believed in the green light, the orgastic future that year by year recedes before us. It eluded us then, but that's no matter. Tomorrow we will run faster, stretch our arms farther, and one fine morning. So we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past.
Okay, peeps, before we go into it, keep in mind that this is a very general collection. Don't be afraid, don't be mad or sad if the astro typology and the following reading do not resonate with you. This collection is meant for you all, so it's totally okay if some of you do not feel the energies of the cards or the words. At least, we are all individuals with an individual set of energies coming from all kinds of sources, but all of them connected, because we are one. I want to ask you to just open the doors of your heart and your mind in order to combine them with your incredible inner light into united, unconditional love. And if it feels right to you, dare to go through that united door.
Always choose love and don't let your fears shade your open doors. Because love is a divine open door shining directly through your heart, ready to accompany you on your own unique path.
Ladies and gents, fasten your seatbelt. Destination, standard information.
Cancer, our loving terrorist among all zodiac signs. Her time starts with the 22nd of June and ends on the 22nd of July. June, the vibrant bridge that lets us travel from spring to summer. Summer, that's Cancer season. Nature, even people bursting with life, inviting us outdoors to savor extended days and gentle evenings. Embrace the harmony of blooming flowers and the promise of sun-kissed adventures. It's a celebration of life's abundance in every rustle of leaves and dance of fireflies. Indeed, as we see, a lot is going on in that time of the year, lots of movement, many changes in nature as well as in its people. This is what makes our Cancers so unique. Just as the multifaceted event of moving from spring to summer, just as multifaceted is our Cancer when it comes to emotions. She is a real surprise box filled with emotions roller coastering up and down, left to right. In the next minutes, we will get to know her a bit closer, and then you might understand what we mean, if you don't already feel the meaning of these words already. Her gender is female, and with that, Cancer gains typical characteristics linked to emotional depth and empathy. This aligns with the feminine energy's capacity for understanding emotions, connecting with others on an emotional level, and providing comfort during challenging times. Cancer's primary color is blue, which is not that surprising as she finds herself in the zodiacs with the elements of Water Club. Soon we will talk about that more. And her opposite zodiac is the responsible but starry-eyed Capricorn.
Ladies and gents, are you ready to continue with the destination ruler planet? Cancer is ruled by her ruler planet, the Moon, which explains her often moody mood changes. An emotional bump with unstoppable ups and downs belong to Cancer like the air for breathing. A ping-pong game between her super happy and sad to death. This arises from the constant change between water and land. But don't make the mistake of underestimating the influence of the Moon. According to the lore, Selene is a prominent figure in Greek mythology and is especially recognized as the goddess of the moon. She is one of the Titans, the ancient deities who preceded the Olympian gods in Greek mythology. When we take a closer look at Selene, we see many aspects mirroring with Cancer, such as that the moon has long been associated with intuition and the subconscious. Selene's spiritual symbolism is about encouragement to trust one's inner wisdom, follow intuitive guidance, and explore the depth of the subconscious mind. But not just that, Selene as a representation of the feminine energy can stand for qualities such as nurturing, compassion, and receptivity. In a spiritual context, honoring and balancing feminine energy may involve embracing qualities like intuition, creativity, and empathy, but also the big tie to the natural world and its rhythms. The element of Cancer is, as we have learned just 2 minutes ago, water. Water stands for analytical thinking, creativity, communication, freedom, and crudeness. Our Cancer needs water for her feelings and land for her stability. And so she needs people around her who give her love and affection, exaggerated attention and security, whereby the emotional level is more important to her than logic. Ladies and gents, next destination, Ascendant.
Until now, we have checked out the very basic facts, but still super important facts of our Cancer. But in our today's typology, it's not just about our, let's say, pure Cancers. There's even more, because Cancer and her characteristics do not just influence Cancers themselves, but also other signs of the zodiac. So let us talk about ascendants. Maybe you listen to this video without even being a Cancer. Maybe you are a super curious Aquarius, again wanting to know more, collecting some wisdom and new perspectives. And maybe your ascendant lies in Cancer. Generally, for those whose ascendants lie in Cancer, this represents family and feelings, because Cancer loves and protects her family, which is also the life task of Cancer. She loves her home and would protect it at all costs. That's why it must be cozy. She must feel comfortable. She even reacts sensitively aggressively on bad atmospheres. Her house is her fortress. Basta. For just a minute, let us go back to the Aquarius Cancer example. If you are an Aquarius and your ascendant lies in Cancer, this could mean that your emotional depth, which you not just have as a Cancer, but also and especially even as an Aquarius, is not that inward anymore. As an Aquarius, you tend to deal with your emotional depths and thoughts more alone, barely communicate them, as you most of the time do not feel understood by others. But with the influence of Cancer, you tend more to open yourself and share your thoughts to your closest ones. And with that, you learn better how to deal with your thoughts. Even if it's still the case that you don't feel understood, the inspiration you earn just by forming your thoughts into spoken words can be enough to know how to move on. But again, generally speaking, so back to Cancer herself and her typical characteristics, Cancer's state of mind can change from 1 second to the next. Her care, which she exaggerates, can annoy her closest to a great extent. This deficit, the not given attention, then turns into self-pity, which can feel unbearable to the people surrounding her. But spiritually and mystically speaking, Cancer is also called the guardian of all souls because in mythology it represents a mystical sign that stands for rebirth. You can also call it a fresh start, new beginnings, new opportunities, and open doors.
Ladies and gents, we are going to the stars. Next destination, star constellation and numerology ranking.
Cancer's star constellation is 300 light years away from Earth. 1 light year corresponds to 9.46 trillion kilometers. Interesting side note here, there are just 3 signs of the zodiac which are farther away from Earth. These are Pisces, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Cancer is sadly a weak constellation, but still, despite of that, and despite of the distance to the stars, you can spot Cancer's constellation from February to April. In the numerology ranking, Cancer occupies the number 2, the thoughtfulness.
Ladies and gents, what about communication? Are you ready for the next destination? Misunderstandings.
Cancer is also a very active being and feels at home anywhere in the world due to her strong communication skills and interests. She is literally able to suddenly create a new home in a completely different corner of the earth and feels safe and comfortable there immediately. Due to her perseverance and goal-oriented nature, this change of location does not cost her any great effort. She seems to do everything easily and also with big pleasure. And while doing so, she always includes her family and friends, whether they want it or not. If they don't go along, then exactly then our Cancer develops some terroristic features, so to say, because she doesn't feel understood, as she just wants to do something good for her family. She cannot understand that her family doesn't like what she's doing, or that her family just doesn't want to participate. So it can happen that she, if not everything goes the way she imagines, freaks out completely. If Cancer at this moment also finds herself in a so-to-call transformation phase, then she reacts even more extreme than usual because she feels defenseless without her protective armor.
Ladies and gents, what about the personality? Next destination, personality.
Cancer's wardrobe seems casual, her handshake pleasant. Thus, both Cancer man and woman are dressed very casually, but in high quality and are well groomed for head to toe. You will also find a lot of cosmetics in Cancer's home. They come across as trusting and almost shy. One of Cancer's favorite things to do is collecting beautiful, unique things with lots of meaning and background stories from all over the world. As she feels home like everywhere on this big and gorgeous planet Earth, she loves to not just make memories, but also hold them, save them by collecting stuff that remind her of her memories, the people she met, the experiences she made, the culture she learned about. And this, of course, also includes lots of books, naturally also from all over the world. In her inventory, you'll find many different kinds of books regarding, of course, the many places she visited, the history to that, but also cookbooks. Yes, Cancer cooks very passionately, especially for her chosen and loved ones. She loves good food, which may also be extraordinary sometimes. This can be African, Asian, in fact, could be everything. But she will also not say no to a sponge cake roll as a dessert. And then there is also dancing. Dancing is one of her big passions. During a slow waltz, she can indulge her feelings and dance with a partner passionately and elegantly. Cancer is definitely interested in many things and tries out a lot. She never gets bored of that. Even on the contrary, she is always discovering new things that excite her.
Ladies and gents, how do you spend your me time? Destination, vacation.
If you like to go on a vacation with our very family-oriented Cancer, it might get difficult because she loves her home so much and also can leave her mom behind. Our Cancer then almost crawls away back home, somehow like a toddler who keeps its eyes closed and thinks is invisible then. A little tip, just book that trip directly and secretly. Then after that, hook her and take her with you. Of course, it will be uncomfortable with her at first as she wasn't prepared to be kidnapped by you, but she quickly gets back into the swing of things as soon as she gets comfortable. And with a good vacation, this might not take that long. So there's just one thing for you to consider. You should make sure that you do not book an adventure trip, but rather a quiet vacation to a place where she can feel comfortable and relaxed. If that's taken into account, this will be the most chill vacation ever. And do not forget that a relaxing vacation doesn't exclude adventures. As we have learned now, our Cancer is very into traveling, cultures, and history. So you might also learn a lot of new stuff on your way by meeting new people and trying out new things, like eating something you have probably never tried before.
Ladies and gents, let's open your fridge. Next destination, food.
It is not by chance that our Cancer suffers not just from emotional roller coasters, but also from stomach problems. Our sometimes grumpy Cancer eats a lot into herself, despite of her inner madness, because she usually does not feel understood and always asks herself what one actually wants or expects from her. She cannot understand if the people surrounding her complain a lot or are even criticizing her. How could they? She devotes herself into the well-being of her family and friends, but it's still not enough? How is that possible, she asks herself.
I'm a good person after all.
Since she is sensitive anyway, her body reacts immediately to any stress, sorrow, and similar negatively perceived energies. In fact, she often eats too much food because she expects every moment, even if that's just an unconscious intuitive behavior, that there could be some natural disaster in the next moment and she would have to starve, which is also the reason for her frugality, the constant fear of being left without anything. So her inner madness is giving her quite a bit of trouble. But you can also take her away from this daily madness by dragging her to the movies or playing parlor games with loved ones. She loves company which is based on true, positive, warm, and familiar energies. But dear listeners, before we continue describing all of this from a viewing perspective, we'd like to tell you that we have a special guest with us. Someone who has a unique perspective on life. Let's welcome our guest, Cancer.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Cancer, we have already shared the information that you are quite sensitive and that your body reacts strongly to stress and negative energies. Can you tell us a bit more about how you navigate this sensitivity in your daily life?
Absolutely, it's true. I've always been quite sensitive to my surroundings. It's like my body has this immediate response to any stress or negativity. Sometimes I find myself eating more than I need. For example, during a particular challenging week at work, I unconsciously reach for comfort food like a tub of ice cream to soothe the stress and anxiety. I guess it's this unconscious fear of the unknown, of something bad happening. It's a constant struggle. And I do also assume that this comes from the constant tense energies that I feel in my surroundings, and with that I do not only name my closest people, but also and especially strangers, the outside world. It's getting more tense with time.
Yes, dear Cancer, I think this is a feeling that we do all share, but at that point, some a bit more intensively than the others, of course. But that sounds challenging. How do you cope with this constant fear?
Well, it's not that easy. I tend to be quite frugal because of this fear of being left with nothing. For instance, I might hesitate to make spontaneous purchases or investments, always fearing an unforeseen financial downturn. But I've found that surrounding myself with positive energies really helps. Like spending time with loved ones, as you just said, going to the movies, playing games with friends, to go to a restaurant, or just talking. For instance, last month I had a very stressful time at work, and to counteract that, I spent a weekend at a cozy cabin in the mountains with my closest friends. The serene environment and positive company provided a much needed break from my daily madness.
It sounds like positive and warm company is crucial for you. How do you find solace during difficult times?
Absolutely. When life gets overwhelming, I find comfort in the company of true, positive, warm, and familiar energies. Like turning to my loved ones, cook a meal together, or simply spend quality time together, talking about our day. It's like a refuge from the chaos that really lifts my spirit.
It's wonderful that you found these ways to cope. Thank you for sharing your insights with us, Cancer. We appreciate your openness.
Thank you for having me. It's important to talk about these things, and I find support in each other.
Ladies and gents, what do you do for your living? Destination, career.
When it's about professions and the career of our Cancer, you will find her in nursing and artistic professions. And taking one closer look at Cancer's way of working reveals she is everyone's favorite of all bosses. There's really no one who can hold a candle to her. Once in the company, she usually stays there until retirement age. At school, too, it's not surprising that she feels right at home in the subject of home economics or family and consumer sciences. Unless the world calls. But even then, she would get a longer time off because of her good relationship to the boss. Yes, our Cancer is loyal as soon as she is into something or someone, but we should not forget that our Cancer is freedom-loving above all.
Ladies and gents, I don't know if you want to listen to this, but the next destination, responsibilities.
Although Cancers are very talented artistically, they first use all of their abilities and power for their own children and family and wait until their children can go their very own way before Cancer uses her innate creative powers for herself and lets go of her children, whereby the letting go process will always be problematic, and this has nothing to do with her children. This is just a typical Cancer topic. Nevertheless, it is important for them to know that their children are taken care of, that they can let go of most of the responsibilities and take care of their own passions and abilities.
Ladies and gents, is your heart talking to you? Destination, love.
Love and Cancer. Again, a firework of emotions. You should be prepared for all kinds of things when it's about love. But no space for misunderstandings here. Cancer is made for love. If there wasn't the attachment and overprotective instinct, which of course can drive partners crazy. If Cancer then starts to compare her partner with mom, this can bring things to a head. But be careful, here you can discuss everything. Communication is the key, at least. But please don't get the idea of criticizing Cancer's mom. You don't want to experience any Cancer at this very moment. And if, at the moment of her mother being criticized, she needs to hold her composure, as you might find yourself in public or at any other situation in which driving crazy isn't the best idea, she will wait patiently for her moment, holding back her aggression. She just waits, because she will definitely take revenge. She just can't help it. Deprivation of tenderness is simply unbearable for our love-oriented Cancer. And even if it sometimes seems unrealistic, she must live out what is inside of her. For this, she is also ready to give everything, which is also due to her fear to be abandoned. Her motto is always, "I cannot leave you alone."
Ladies and gents, now we are visiting your inner circle. Destination, friends and family.
Cancer likes honest people with a strong character. She cannot stand people who don't know what they want, and she also doesn't like self-important people. Our Cancer obviously needs a person of the same heart, just as she is herself. You might think now that her peers, so the same zodiac sign, would be the right choice for her, but it is not that easy. Why? Yeah, after what we have learned in the last minutes, it is not that complicated to tell. Cancer plus Cancer equals an emotional overload bomb, which easily reaches uncontrollable dimensions. So our Cancer needs somebody who can literally ground her, bring her down from her flight to the moon. But not in the sense of an argument, no, rather calmly and constructive. Who can do that? Our Taurus can do that. As we have learned in Taurus's typology, she also is very family and love-oriented, but at the same time a lot more grounded. So she doesn't tend to lose herself in the depths of emotions. So we can say Taurus is an ideal partner. Both love their home and family, love being at home, love good food, both are conventional and don't like acrobatics in the bedroom. And they both can show their affection deeply enough, so they can't get enough of each other. Just perfect. But who else? Virgo could also be a good match if both don't hold back, where Scorpio knows exactly how to deal with Cancer. Sometimes Cancer is overwhelmed by Scorpio, but since Scorpio has a strong hand, Cancer recovers quickly. But there's one thing that can make a relationship between these two exhausting. Both are moody. There can be tensions now and then, but basically, if there is enough communication and energy balancing going on, nothing stands in the way of a marriage between these two. Cancer is also fascinated by Pisces. If Pisces voluntarily hands over the leadership to Cancer, it will be a very intimate partnership to melt away.
Señoras y señores, el destino último de celebridades.
¡Ay!
Finally, we have a few famous Cancers for you, and I'm sorry if I do not pronounce all the names correctly, but I try my best. So we start with Liv Tyler, Margot Robbie, Tobey Maguire, Diana Spencer, Herman Hesse, Matthew Lewis, Nelson Mandela, Vin Diesel, John Davison Rockefeller, Tom Hanks, Robin Williams, Tom Cruise, Cyndi Lauper, Ernest Hemingway, Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, Julius Caesar, Meryl Streep, Jared Padalecki, Mike Tyson, Lionel Messi, Elon Musk, Nikola Tesla, Angela Merkel, Harrison Ford, Ferdinand von Zeppelin, George Michael, Rembrandt van Rijn, Sylvester Stallone, Phineas Taylor Barnum, Susan Howard, Carlos Santana, and of course, many, many more. Before we move forward, I want to ask you to set the intention to connect to the cards with your open heart, your intuition, and your beautiful inner light. Now put your attention fully to the brightness of your unique light, doesn't matter which color it has, and bring your wonderful light right into your open heart so that you're able to feel the sensation of unconditional love. First of all, the cards needed way more time to shuffle, but when they were ready, they literally jumped out of the deck. This was a really interesting shuffling. Okay, let's get into it. For me, it seems as if you needed to learn many lessons in the past, especially to overcome and handle the probably darker areas inside yourself. And especially that was crucial for you in order not to lose your great abilities of transforming and not to be unintentionally destructive, but dive deep within yourself and come out wisely. With this needed knowledge, however, now it seems as if you were prepared to now go through your astrological mission, your fate. It probably pushes out feelings of discomfort and fear in you, but even these feelings are needed. So you can now follow your path into the unknown, refresh your growth by building new karma, overcome your inner and outer shadows. Everything which you need now to balance not only the North Node, but to pay attention to the South Node too. This balances your yin and yang. By paying attention and following your fate's call, you'll probably feel more and more satisfaction, peace, and fulfillment. This feels like a real fate plan, doesn't it? Because by taking a look at the future card, it seems like fate is literally preparing you for a higher good. Because fulfilling your fate, building new karma, etc., you probably can allow yourself to flow with the feminine water energies of Pisces. Being imaginative, a bit dreamy, to lift boundaries, to meditate, to literally calm down. But especially to carefully keep an eye on the fog, calmly not allow yourself or others to go obsessive, and so being manipulative and destructive. Hopefully you now always keep your unique path in mind, what you were going through until now, the great lessons you learned and the knowledge you earned, which you now not want to be damaged just because of maybe one unmindful moment. The Starseed card absolutely completes the big picture here, because this card urgently calls you to take responsibility of your health, to calm down, to rest and recharge yourself slowly and nicely, because you have done so much incredible work, inclusive the earthly important things. You kept running, but now it's time for you to slow down. Otherwise, there is a great risk of deeply exhausting your body, which can lead to serious illnesses. We don't want that to happen. This card is literally the or your resting, calming card.
I mean, it's crazy.
What?
We finish each other's
sandwiches.
That's what I was gonna say. I never met someone who thinks so much like me.
Jinx!
Jinx again! Our mental synchronization can have but one explanation. You
And I
are just meant to be. Say goodbye to the pain of the past. We don't have to feel it anymore. Love is an open door. Love is an open door. Life can be so much more with you.
With you!
With you.
With you!
Love is an open door. So, we hope we could give you not just a marathon, but also an overall collective and detailed insight into the many worlds of our today's zodiac. And we're glad that you were with us until the very, very end. And the fact that you took your time to connect and to be with us on this whole journey today really means a lot to us.
And naturally, you are very welcome to leave your thoughts and intuitions, or if you like, even your emotions in the comment section. This all, and to see where you are all coming from, is for us very fascinating to know. Where are my Astro Soul peeps?
And do not forget, if life gives you lemons,
Be creative, do something good for your heart, your soul, and your body. Be your own alchemist.
and make a lemon cheesecake.
You said it.